The Galactic Council's judgment captain, Elena Rodriguez, stood on the bridge of the UES Aurora, watching through the main viewport as 15 human ships approached the massive Galactic Council station. The station hung in space like a giant metal flower, its petals stretching for hundreds of kilometers in every direction. Ships from dozens of alien species docked at various ports, their designs ranging from elegant crystal formations to mechanical, insect-like structures. Elena had been preparing for this moment her entire life. At 38 years old, she commanded one of Earth's most advanced vessels, though she knew the aliens would see it differently. The Aurora was sleek and functional, built with the best technology humanity could produce after 80 years of space exploration. But compared to what waited at the station, their entire fleet looked like toys. "Captain, we're receiving docking. Instructions from the station," reported Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen from the communications station. Her voice carried the tension everyone felt. "They're directing us to the outer ring, Section 12. Elena nodded, unsurprised. The outer ring was where the station kept visitors they considered unimportant. The prime docking bays in the center were reserved for the major galactic powers. "Acknowledge their instructions, Sarah. Signal Admiral Mitchell that we're proceeding, as planned." Admiral Thane Mitchell commanded the diplomatic vessel UES Harmony, positioned at the center of their small formation. He was a man who had spent 20 years building relationships with alien traders and explorers, learning their languages and customs. If anyone could convince the Galactic Council to accept humanity as members, it would be him. The docking process took 3 hours. Elena watched through the viewports as alien vessels moved around them with casual grace. A ship from the Draconis Empire passed nearby, its dark hull stretching for 2 kilometers and bristling with weapon ports. The reptilian Draconis had conquered 17 star systems through military might, and their technology was centuries ahead of anything humans possessed. After securing her ship, Elena joined Admiral Mitchell and the other human captains in the station central assembly hall. The room was enormous, designed to accommodate beings of all sizes. The ceiling disappeared into shadows above, while the floor was a mosaic of materials from 1,000 different worlds. Galleries rising in tiers held representatives from 43 different species, all members of the Galactic Council. At the center of the hall sat the Council's 3 most powerful leaders. High Chancellor Zix Tara of the Draconis Empire was a towering reptilian figure with golden scales and piercing yellow eyes. Her species had ruled their corner of the galaxy for over 3,000 years. Next to her sat War Chief Gorvac of the Hive Mind Collective, an insectoid being whose chitinous armor gleamed under the chamber lights. His species controlled vast swarms of ships that moved as one mind across multiple star systems. The third leader was the most mysterious. The Ascended One of the Crystal Collective appeared as a shifting form of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure. No one knew how old these beings were or where they originally came from, but their technology could manipulate matter at the molecular level. Admiral Mitchell walked to the center of the chamber, his dress uniform crisp and professional. Elena and her fellow captains stood in formation behind him, representing the best of human military tradition. The Admiral's voice carried clearly through the vast space as he began humanity's formal request. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," Mitchell said, his words translated by the station's universal communication system. "I am Admiral Thane Mitchell, representing the United Earth Systems. After 80 years of space exploration and peaceful contact with your species, humanity formally requests membership in this council. We offer our friendship, our resources, and our commitment to galactic peace and prosperity." The response was immediate laughter, not polite diplomatic chuckling, but open, mocking laughter that echoed from the galleries above. Elena felt her jaw clench as she watched alien beings pointing at the human delegation and making sounds of amusement in dozens of different languages. High Chancellor Zix Tara raised one clawed hand, and the laughter gradually died down. When she spoke, her voice was like silk wrapped around steel. "Humans. Yes, we have observed your species for some time now. 80 years of space travel, you say? How charming. My own species achieved faster than light travel 3 millennia. War Chief Gorvak's mandibles clicked together in what Elena realized was their equivalent of laughter. Your entire fleet numbers what, 50 ships? My morning patrol consists of more vessels than your entire navy. What could you possibly offer the Council? The Ascended One's communication came as pure thought transmitted directly into their minds. These organic entities have barely progressed beyond their home system. Their technology is primitive, their unity questionable. They request membership as equals when they are clearly children playing with dangerous toys. Admiral Mitchell maintained his composure despite the insults. We may be new to galactic civilization, but humans have proven capable of rapid adaptation and innovation. Our diversity of thought and determination to overcome challenges could benefit the Council's goals. Diversity of thought? High Chancellor Zix Tara stood, her full height impressive even by galactic standards. You mean chaos and inefficiency? Your species cannot even unify your home planet under a single government. How can you contribute to galactic governance? Elena watched as holographic displays materialized around the chamber, showing comparisons between human technology and that of Council members. Their best starships looked crude next to sleek Draconis vessels. Human weapons seemed like primitive projectile launchers compared to the energy manipulators used by the Crystal Collective. Every comparison made humanity appear backward and insignificant. Perhaps, War Chief Gorvak said, his compound eyes glittering with malicious amusement, we should demonstrate the difference between children and adults. My fleet maintains a battle group just outside this system. They could provide these humans with a practical education in galactic power structures. The suggestion sent excited whispers through the galleries. Elena heard alien voices discussing the entertainment value of watching human ships destroyed. Some were already placing bets on how long the human fleet would last against even a single Council warship. High Chancellor Zix Tara seemed to consider the proposal. An educational demonstration might benefit not only these humans but also any other primitive species, considering premature applications for membership. Very well. War Chief Gorvak, you may proceed with your lesson. Admiral Mitchell stepped forward, his voice remaining steady despite the threat. High Chancellor, surely there's no need for violence. We came here seeking peaceful dialogue, not conflict. Peace is earned through strength. The Ascended One communicated to all present. Your species has demonstrated neither the strength to demand respect nor the wisdom to recognize your limitations. This demonstration will correct both deficiencies. Elena felt her heart racing as she watched the tactical displays update. Gorvak's battle group was moving into the system, their ships outnumbering the human fleet 5-1. Each alien vessel was larger and more heavily armed than anything Earth had ever built. The humans had walked into a trap designed to humiliate them before the entire galactic community. But as Elena watched the approaching alien fleet, she noticed Admiral Mitchell's hand move to his communication device. He pressed a sequence of buttons that activated a secure channel no alien sensors could detect. The message he sent consisted of only 3 words, but Elena knew they would change everything. Project Titan authorized. The words meant nothing to the aliens laughing in the galleries above. They had never bothered to conduct deep intelligence gathering on humanity, dismissing Earth as too primitive to pose any real threat. They saw only the 15 visible ships of the human fleet and assumed that represented the full extent of human capabilities. What they didn't know was that for over 40 years in the deepest parts of human space, Earth's greatest minds had been working on something extraordinary. The visible fleet was never meant to be humanity's true strength. It was bait, designed to make potential enemies underestimate what humans could really accomplish when properly motivated. As War Chief Gorvak's ships moved into attack formation, Elena smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. Tsoxi. Aliens were so confident in their superiority that they had never asked the right questions. They assumed they knew everything about human military capabilities based on what they could see. Admiral, Elena said quietly, activating her own secure communication channel. How long until our guests arrive? Titan Command estimates 12 minutes until emergence, Mitchell replied, his own excitement carefully hidden behind diplomatic protocol. "I suggest we prepare our colleagues for a surprise." The alien representatives continued their mockery, unaware that their assumptions about humanity were about to be shattered. In 12 minutes, they would learn that the most dangerous human trait wasn't their primitive weapons or small ships. It was their ability to plan for the long term and keep secrets from those who underestimated them. High Chancellor Zixtara gestured toward the tactical display showing Gorvak's approaching battle group. "Observe carefully, humans. This is what real galactic power looks like. Perhaps after this demonstration, your species will understand the wisdom of remaining in your small corner of space." Elena looked up at the towering reptilian leader and felt a calm confidence settle over her. "High Chancellor," she said, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber, "I think you're the one who's about to learn something today." The alien leader's yellow eyes narrowed with curiosity and irritation. "What could your primitive species possibly teach the Galactic Council?" Elena's smile widened. "Patience, High Chancellor. You see, while you've been busy laughing at our 15 ships, we've been working on something else. Something you never bothered to look for because you were too busy being arrogant." The chamber fell silent as Elena's words registered. For the first time since the humans arrived, the alien representatives looked uncertain. War Chief Gorvak's mandibles clicked nervously as he checked his sensor readings again. "Impossible," he buzzed. "We have scanned your entire fleet. 15 small vessels with primitive weapons and shields. There is nothing else." "You scanned our visible fleet," Admiral Mitchell corrected calmly. "But you forgot something important about humans, War Chief. We're really good at hiding things until we're ready to use them." At the edge of the system, space itself began to ripple as something massive prepared to emerge from hyperspace. The alien sensor operators throughout the station suddenly detected energy readings that defied their understanding of physics. Something was coming, something bigger than any ship in their databases. Elena watched the confusion spread through the galleries as alien representatives frantically checked their instruments. The mockery and laughter had stopped, replaced by growing concern and disbelief. "What have you done?" High Chancellor Zixtara demanded, her golden scales shifting color with agitation. "What humans do best," Elena replied. "We prepared for every possibility, including the one where diplomacy fails and we need to remind the galaxy why underestimating us is a mistake." The energy readings at the system's edge spiked beyond measurement as something vast began to translate from hyperspace into normal space. Whatever was coming would arrive in less than 5 minutes, and Elena could see in the aliens' faces that they were starting to realize their comfortable assumptions about humanity might have been terribly wrong. The Mothership's Revelation War Chief. Gorvak's battle group had spread across space in perfect attack formation, their weapons charging with deadly energy. 43 alien warships surrounded the 15 human vessels, each one capable of destroying Earth's entire visible fleet, single-handedly. The insectoid commander stood in his command center, compound eyes glowing with anticipation of an easy victory. "All ships report ready to fire," buzzed his tactical officer. "The humans have raised their primitive shields, but our weapons will cut through them like paper." Gorvak's mandibles clicked with satisfaction. This would be a perfect demonstration of Council superiority, broadcast across the galaxy to warn other primitive species about the consequences of overreaching their natural place. He was about to give the order to fire when his sensor operators' panicked chittering filled the bridge. "War Chief, massive energy distortion detected at the system boundary. Something is emerging from hyperspace, but the readings are impossible." On the Galactic Council station, every alien representative was staring at their instruments in disbelief. The energy signature approaching the system was larger than anything in their databases. High Chancellor Zixtara's golden scales had shifted to a nervous silver as she watched the tactical displays. "What is that energy pattern?" she demanded from her science advisors. "No ship produces readings like those." The Ascended One's crystal form pulsed with agitated light as it communicated its confusion to the chamber. "The gravitational distortions suggest a vessel of unprecedented mass. Our collective knowledge contains no reference for such construction." Captain Elena Rodriguez stood calmly on the bridge of the UES Aurora, watching the alien panic with quiet satisfaction. Her communication system crackled with Admiral Mitchell's voice from the diplomatic vessel. All human ships maintain position and prepare for Titan emergence. Remember, we are representatives of Earth today. Show them what human dignity looks like. Through the Aurora's main viewport, Elena could see space itself bending and twisting as something massive approached. The distortion grew larger and larger until it seemed to consume half the star field. Then, with a flash of light that temporarily overwhelmed every sensor in the system, it emerged. The UES Leviathan materialized from hyperspace like a mountain appearing in empty ocean. The ship was over 8 kilometers long and 2 kilometers wide, its hull a masterwork of human engineering that combined functionality with an aesthetic beauty that made alien observers gasp in surprise. Unlike the angular, aggressive designs favored by most galactic species, the Leviathan flowed like a living thing, its curves and surfaces speaking of form, following function in perfect harmony. But it was not just the ship's size that shocked the gathered aliens. The Leviathan's hull gleamed with technological innovations they couldn't immediately identify. Energy patterns flowed across its surface like veins of light, and the very space around it seemed to shimmer with controlled gravitational fields. War Chief Gorvak's voice cracked as he transmitted to his fleet. All ships, maintain formation. It's just one vessel, even if it is larger than expected. Focus fire on the... His orders died in his throat as his sensors finished their analysis. The Leviathan's weapon systems were beyond his understanding. Where his ships mounted crude energy cannons and missile launchers, the human vessel displayed weapon ports that seemed to bend space itself. Its defensive screens weren't simple energy barriers, but complex fields that could redirect attacks through dimensional manipulation. Impossible, High Chancellor Zixtara whispered, her reptilian features frozen in shock. How could a primitive species construct such a vessel? Our intelligence reports showed no capability for this level of technology. Admiral Mitchell's image appeared on communication screens throughout the system, his expression calm and professional. High Chancellor, War Chief Gorvak, honored members of the Council, allow me to introduce you to humanity's true contribution to galactic civilization. The Leviathan's communication array activated, and Captain Sarah Chen's voice reached every ship in the system. Elena's old academy classmate had been chosen to command humanity's greatest achievement, and her pride was evident as she spoke. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Leviathan. For the past 47 years, humanity has been preparing for this moment. While you observed our exploration fleet and dismissed us as primitive, our greatest minds were solving problems you never thought to ask. Holographic displays activated around the Leviathan, showing technical specifications that made alien scientists throughout the system frantically take notes. The ship's power systems operated on principles that combined human innovation with technologies derived from theoretical physics. Its faster-than-light drive could outrun anything in the Galactic fleet, while its manufacturing facilities could construct an entire battleship in less than 3 days. You see, Captain Chen continued, humans have one advantage you never considered. We think differently than any species you've encountered. Where you see established rules and limitations, we see problems to be solved. Where you accept that certain things are impossible, we ask what if they're not. War Chief Gorvak finally found his voice, though it trembled with uncertainty. One ship cannot stand against my entire battle group. I don't care how large it is or what impossible technologies it claims to possess. You're absolutely right, Captain Chen agreed pleasantly. One ship couldn't stand against your battle group. Fortunately, the Leviathan isn't alone. The space around the massive vessel shimmered, and suddenly it wasn't one ship but dozens. Manufacturing bays along the Leviathan's hull opened, and sleek fighter craft poured out like silver fish from a mechanical whale. But these weren't ordinary fighters. Each one incorporated the same gravitational manipulation technology as the Mothership, making them nearly impossible to target with conventional weapons. Elena watched from the Aurora's bridge as over 200 human fighters formed up around the Leviathan. Each craft was piloted by volunteers who had trained their entire lives for this moment. They moved with a precision that made the alien formations look clumsy by comparison, their ships dancing through space in patterns that seemed to defy physics. This is still impossible. High Chancellor Zixtara's voice carried across all frequencies, her composure finally cracking. Your species lacks the industrial capacity to build such a fleet. Our economic models show that Earth cannot support this level of construction. Admiral Mitchell's image appeared again, and Elena could see the satisfaction in his eyes. High Chancellor, you based your models on what you could see of our civilization. What you couldn't see were the asteroid mining operations in the outer system, the orbital factories hidden behind gas giant moons, and the research stations in deep space where our best minds worked in secret. For nearly half a century, Captain Chen added from the Leviathan, humanity has been preparing for this day. Every insult from galactic traders, every dismissive comment from alien explorers, every casual assumption that we were too primitive to matter, all of it motivated us to be better, to reach further, to achieve what you said was impossible. The alien fleets found themselves in an impossible situation. War Chief Gorvak's battle group was now facing not just the massive Leviathan, but a swarm of fighters whose technology they couldn't counter. The human vessels moved through space with an elegance that made their own ships seem crude and ungainly. Demonstrate your weapons, the Ascended One's mental voice reached the human ships. Show us what your impossible technology can accomplish. Captain Chen's response was immediate. We'd prefer not to use weapons, honored Ascended One, but if you insist on a demonstration, the Leviathan's main defensive array activated. Energy patterns flowed across its hull as gravitational fields locked onto 3 asteroids drifting at the edge of the system. Without firing a single weapon, the ship manipulated space itself to accelerate the rocks to near light speed. The asteroid streaked across the system and impacted a dead moon, the kinetic energy release visible as a brilliant flash that lit up the entire star system. The demonstration sent shocked silence through every alien vessel. The humans had just moved asteroids like projectiles using nothing but gravitational manipulation. The implications for both construction and warfare were staggering. Now, Admiral Mitchell said into the silence, shall we discuss humanity's membership in the Galactic Council on more equal terms? The change in alien attitudes was immediate and dramatic. High Chancellor Zixtara's scales shifted to respectful gold as she bowed her reptilian head. Admiral Mitchell, Captain Chen, I believe there has been a fundamental misunderstanding about humanity's capabilities. The Council would be honored to discuss your membership application in greater detail. War Chief Gorvak's entire battle group powered down their weapons. The Hive Mind Collective recognizes the strength and ingenuity of the human species. We withdraw our objection to their Council membership. Even the mysterious Ascended One seemed impressed. These organic entities have achieved technological advancement through unconventional methods. The Crystal Collective supports their application for full membership status. Elena smiled as she watched the transformation in alien behavior. Minutes ago they had been mocking humanity as primitive children. Now they competed to offer friendship and alliance. The change would have been amusing if it weren't so predictable. Thank you for your reconsideration, Admiral Mitchell replied diplomatically. However, humanity's membership will come with certain conditions. We've learned that respect in the galaxy must be earned and maintained. Therefore, Earth will accept full Council membership, but we reserve the right to act independently when our interests or principles are threatened. Captain Chen's voice added weight to the diplomatic statement. The Leviathan and its sister ships will serve as guarantors of human independence. We join the Council not as junior members seeking protection, but as equals offering our unique perspective and capabilities. High Chancellor Zixtara nodded eagerly. Of course, the Council benefits from diverse viewpoints and innovative approaches. Humanity's creative problem-solving abilities would be invaluable to our collective endeavors. Elena listened to the aliens' enthusiastic acceptance with mixed feelings. Part of her was satisfied that humanity had earned their respect and place among the galactic powers, but another part regretted that it had taken such a dramatic demonstration to achieve what diplomacy should have accomplished. One final point, Admiral Mitchell said as the formal proceedings concluded. The human ships you initially observed exploring our local space region represent only our diplomatic and exploration corps. The Leviathan and our defense fleet will remain in human space. ready to respond if any council member forgets the lesson learned today. As the various fleets began to disperse, Elena felt a deep pride in what humanity had accomplished. They had faced mockery and threats with dignity, revealed their hidden strength at the crucial moment, and emerged as one of the galaxy's major powers. The road ahead would be challenging, but humans had proven they belonged among the stars. The Galactic Council would never again dismiss humanity as primitive children. They had learned that behind human determination lay not just the desire to explore, but the capability to defend what they had built. The galaxy was about to discover that the most dangerous assumption anyone could make was underestimating the species that had clawed its way from a single world to the stars through pure, stubborn will. And in the depths of human space, construction began on 2 more ships like the Leviathan. Because humans, as the galaxy was learning, always planned for tomorrow's challenges today.